Microvision. This was released back in 1979, and it was actually the brainchild of the guy who later on created the Vectrex, Mr. J. Smith. I was able to meet Mr. Smith at CGE 2014, where he gave a panel talking about the Vectrex and the Microvision. The Microvision has the distinction of being the first handheld unit with interchangeable cartridges. It was very ahead of its time. It came out in 1979. It enjoyed a limited run, a limited lifespan. I think it went out of production in 1981, 1982, somewhere in there. Only 12 games were ever released for this system. And of those, one was a European-only release. It was Super Breakout or Super Blockout or something like that. Very interesting console. It's a lot of fun to mess around with. Some of the games that were released for it, I've got basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 8 of the released games. Of course, it came with Blockbuster. That was the pack-in game, a Breakout clone. Not too bad, actually. I got a bowling for mine. I got a Vegas slots as well. A pinball. Baseball. Star Trek Phaser Strike, Connect 4, and Sea Duel. Now the ones I'm missing are Mindbuster, Cosmic Raiders, Cosmic Hunter, and Alien Raiders is what I'm missing. Plus I'm missing that European-only release. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that one or not. So let's take a look at what comes in the box. So let's take a look at what comes in the box with the Microvision system. I love the box on this system. Milton Bradley shows the game system, shows a cartridge being inserted. On the back side, it shows pictures of the game that it includes. Blockbuster shows how to play it, shows some of the other games they sell for the system. So let's open this thing up. Now inside the box, it'll actually show you instructions for the game Blockbuster. That's awesome. So here we have what is this? Personal thanks from Milton Bradley. Trying this product now if you would like or dislike it. Will you tell us about it? Oh, that's cool. A little survey form talking about the Microvision. And we have the instructions for the Microvision Blockbuster game. Usually you'll find a catalog that'll show some of the other games that came out for the system. This one actually came with a little coupon book as well. Pretty awesome. And of course we have the unit itself inside. Now looking at the unit, we have our potentiometer down here for the paddle games, basically all the games that use this. This particular cartridge, Blockbuster, has little push buttons here, one for the bumper balls, the speed, paddle size, and then go to play the game. On the back of the unit, we have our contrast adjustment right here, and then we have our battery compartment. 2 9-volt batteries. Some of the later models, like this one, there's no terminals here, so this would actually be considered battery storage. But on the earlier Microvision consoles, there was terminals on both sides. Pretty wild. Now cartridges are removed really easy. There's these little tabs here on the side. You just basically pull straight up and then down, just like that. And there's the cartridge removed. As you can see, right here is the contact tips for the cartridge. You never want to touch those. These things are very susceptible to static damage. But now inside of here you can see the little touch pad. That's where the keyboard was. You can see our screen sitting right there. Now something you need to be aware of, if you're out in the market to buy one of these things and you find one at a flea market or a game store or whatever, always ask to look at the LCD screen. As you can see on this Microvision here, there is a lot of black. This is referred to as screen rot. So basically all these pixels are dead. If you try to fire this up, you may see a little bit of the screen writing here if you're lucky, but more than likely you're not going to see anything on this display. Whereas on this side we have very minimal screen rot. I have maybe 3 little spots here that are not really bad, but you can still see all the game screen and the pixels and everything. This is what you want to look out for, is something that looks like this. If you do find yourself a Microvision with a really good screen, be sure to keep it in a climate controlled area and keep it out of direct sunlight as well. What kills these LCD displays is heat and direct sunlight. So try to protect as much as you can, because once the screen goes bad, you're not going to replace it. There is no replacement screen for the Microvision. So these are getting harder and harder to find that are actually still working. The reason why I've got this one here that has the bad screen is I'm hoping sometime in the future, maybe with the Arduino board or something like that, somebody will make a replacement screen that has a more modern LCD that we can put in here. That's my hope. I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but I'm really hoping for that, because the Microvision is a great piece of history. It'd be nice to preserve it. Now let's take a look at some of the gameplay of the included game, Blockbuster. We can select the number of balls. We can select the speed, slow or fast, and we can select the paddle size. Then we hit go to start the game. And I missed. Oh, missed again. Oh. You can see if I hit right in the middle of the paddle, I can make it go up and down. And once it gets to the very top of the screen, it really speeds up. Oh, got 22 points so far. Well, I got 31 points. Awesome. Now the cartridges came in their own cardboard boxes that would say the name of the game on the very sides, on the ends. When you opened it up, you typically had your cartridge in these little styrofoam holders here to keep it from bouncing around. And typically you would have your instruction manual inside. Pretty cool. Basically all the smarts of the game is inside of this cartridge. The Microvision itself is just basically a little dumb unit that just has a paddle and an LCD screen, and it gives power to these little cartridges. So the actual game program itself is in the cartridge. That is really cool. There is also an emulator online to play some Microvision games. So far they have bowling, pinball, Vegas slots, and phaser strikes. Some of these don't have sound. It's still a work in progress. Hasn't been updated in a while. But it is pretty cool. Just like on the regular Microvision, I can select the number of balls I'm going to have. I can select the speed. I can select the paddle size. I hit go. And then I use my mouse to control the paddle. Oh. Oh. There we go. Boy, I'm terrible at this. Oh, geez. I did better on the actual Microvision. So it is pretty neat that they're actually working on this. I think they're trying to make a standalone emulator for it. And I think they're also trying to incorporate into MES as well. Overall, this is a really neat little handheld console to have in a collection. The unfortunate thing is due to the screens rotting out, they're getting harder and harder to find in working condition. Basically, these things are dying off one by one, and nobody's really come up with a way to have a replacement screen yet for these. So I highly treasure this one. It's got a near perfect screen, so I'm very happy about that. But overall, I really like this little handheld, this retro handheld. It's awful neat. It's really cool. Thanks for watching.